One of my favorite species to hunt every year has to be mule deer. And while I normally chase them early in the year with a bow, on this hunt I have a late season migration tag and I'm hoping to turn up a decent buck. Having struck out on 2 earlier hunts in the year, an early archery season and then a later season muzzleloader hunt for mule deer, I have one last hunt to see what I can find. Now, migration hunts can be incredible with the right weather, and it gives hunters a really good opportunity sometimes to just look over a lot of good deer. But as with any weather-dependent hunt, they can also be a struggle fest to find a good buck that maybe has not shown up yet. So I head out with high hopes of turning up a good deer. Well, it's the first morning on a late season rifle hunt for mule deer. My wife Danielle's with me, so just the two of us. We got grandparents watching the kids. We got a long weekend to come out and hunt. It's beginning of the year and just looking forward to getting out, trying to find a good buck. More just the two of us being able to get to hunt together. I'm planning on self-filming it. So I'm filming, she'll be with me. She might jump in and adjust the camera every now and then, but she doesn't like the pressure of having to run the camera, and we just want to enjoy the hunt together. So I'm gonna go out, look for some deer, have a good time, bring the camera along, and see what we can find. The plan is just moving from glassing knob to glassing knob. First day, just getting a lay of land, kind of figuring out where the concentrations of deer are, because migration areas, they start to pocket in certain places. I imagine there'll be does and probably some younger bucks together. Might be a good buck with some does, but for the most part, the bucks might have pulled off by now and kind of bachelor grouped up again. I would think that the mature bucks would be in groups of bucks. You also never know. Sometimes it's like there's a pocket of deer and then deer just keep filtering in. But the game today is going to be figuring out where those pockets are, doing a lot of long range glassing, overlooking these big valleys and south facing slopes. And then in the middle of the day, just picking apart the bedding areas, the shade, and hoping to turn up a buck. Might have to look over a lot of deer, a lot of young deer and does, just to turn up a decent buck. But sometimes you get lucky and that decent buck's in the first few places you check. It's the end of day one and we finally got into the deer. There's just deer everywhere in this like lower foothill, more burned off stuff, south facing slopes, a lot of new growth in here and just stacked with deer. Unfortunately, it's getting pretty late to really pick it apart, but I think the plan tomorrow is to be back in here. There's lots of does and small bucks and just start to pick this country apart. I'm in this lower country today, turning up a lot of deer. I've yet to see a good buck, but just a lot of bucks and small bucks and does. However, seeing deer makes you feel like you're in the right spot. I mean, it's just a matter of time before one of these pockets has a deer that I'm looking for. We're working up this ridge and just bumped a few does out. It's nice looking country in here. A lot of little rocks and pockets. Definitely a spot of buck could tuck in. Keep working our way up. The wind's good. Just hoping they bump over the other side. Well, it's the evening of day 2. We pretty much found the nursery today. It's like saw a lot of deer, probably 200 deer, 30 bucks, just all young, immature deer. The coolest deer I saw was like a cactus buck, some weird stuff on one side, but it's coming down to the wire. So man, this year's been tough. It's been a tough season for me. I'm just hoping that I can pull one out of my hat here. But if not, I mean, even just a decent 4-point, I just have not seen like a mature buck. Gonna keep doing what we're doing though. Finding deer, looking for bucks. What else can you do? Just keep hunting. It's the morning of day 3. We're hiking into this little pocket back here. Just looks good. There wasn't any other way to kind of see it, so we're gonna hike into this knob back behind us and glass a little bit. Super cold this morning, but just keeping after it. I spotted some deer up here. Looks like at least 2 bucks, so trying to get around this little spot and get the scope on them. Looks like a bachelor group of bucks, small bucks. But some went over the hill, so there could be others in there. All right, so the plan is I'm gonna go up to the top of this mountain, and we're gonna glass on the other side. There's a big basin back there, so we're just going and checking all these little pockets, see if we can turn up a deer. I just spotted a good buck. He's with some does down below us here. I can just barely see him. I'm gonna drop down the ridge and just get across from him, but he's got a big frame on him, best deer I've seen so far. It's worth just getting into position and seeing what he looks like. We're moving in where I saw that good buck. There's a lot of trees and a lot of crunchy snow, so I'm just trying to pick my way through. Danielle and I are gonna stalk him, and I'm gonna hand Danielle the camera. Gonna be camera girl. They were about 300 yards across from me, but they've moved around the hill. I don't know how to get a good look at them. I might have to cross the canyon and look back because there's no way I can come in from the top. There's too many of them. So I'll probably just drop down and look across the canyon. Oh yeah, busted off at his main beam. That buck that I spotted, they went and crossed the valley. If we get to this ridge in front of us, about 300 yards, it's a nice mature buck. He's got matching cheaters on the back. The only bad thing is he's broken. He busted off not just a tine, but his left main beam. I don't know. He's a nice buck though. Mature deer, and that's what I wanted, a mature buck. It's pretty much the only mature buck I've seen. I don't know. It's probably worth getting a closer look at. I'm just gonna swap the camera lens to the big camera lens, the long lens, and then I'm just gonna film the rest of the stock with my phone because I'm gonna try to get in pretty tight. I'm just gonna get into range and either pass or shoot. You know, I know he's broken, but he's still a good buck. Like, the best deer I've seen. Even broken, he's probably the best scoring buck I've seen as well. So I think it's worth getting into range and deciding there. Yep. Those two does are just watching us. I wish I was in the shade a little bit. Yeah, that's like 165 inch buck. Broken. But it's the best buck I've seen in the entire season. You want him? He's down the hill. What? Yeah, down and back. What? He's gonna just stop with those other ones. We'll have all the time in the world. If you see him, he's behind the trees for me. But if he gets to where that first doe is, I'll probably shoot. Yeah. I still don't have a shot. You want him? If he turns. Nope. He's too far. He's gonna go to those other deer there. Dang it, man, that sucked. I was just waiting on the buck. He was bedded about 320 yards away. Just waiting for him to stand up. He was bedded facing me. 2 other deer fed off, and then all of a sudden, all the deer just blew out. I don't know. I really don't know what spooked them. They just exploded out of there and ran up over the top of the mountain. So I'm gonna work my way around, but that was a bummer. Just got into position, had a rest, had everything right, set up, just waiting for him to stand, and they spooked out of there fast too. Bummer.
Well, Happy New Year. It's the last day of the hunt and the first day of the year. I'm really hoping that the turn of the calendar will change my luck a bit and I'll be able to turn up a good buck before time runs out.
Group of deer just fed out up above this draw in front of me. They're a little ways off. Looks like there's a decent buck in there. It looks like it's a 4x4, so I think I'm gonna make a play. I've got a good ridge as cover, so I'm gonna move in and try to get into position for a shot. Once I get up on this hill, I should be I'm probably about 600 or 700 yards away from the buck right now. Once I get up this ridge, should have a 200 to 300 yard shot. All right, let's go. Hope he's still there. About 400 yards. I think I can get 50 yards closer. I'll take that. You can get the other camera. Yeah, you want him? Yeah.
His butt's to us. Okay.
Oh, that was awesome. It was the last day of the hunt and spotted this nice 4-point across the valley. And we just dropped down, got around the canyon that he was in. And he was actually, we were going to the other side, and as we were going up, I looked left and I saw a group of deer feeding. There was actually a smaller buck we spotted first thing this morning, going up the canyon and making a play on what I could tell was a 4-point. And I looked to the left, and they're all up in this little basin, in this little spring. So moved up the hill, got packed down, got prone. It was a 350, 360 yard shot. And he just went straight down. It was awesome. With my new Live Wild edition Weatherby. That's pretty cool. His first deer with that gun, and just excited to be able to take it out in the field and hunt with it, and have my wife here. And we just kept swapping the camera back and forth and moved in. It was an awesome day. What a great day.
Oh, congrats.
Thanks. Well, we got it done. Buck down, New Year's Day buck. First of the year, and shot a deer.
Awesome.
New year, new deer.
Yeah.
Thanks for your help. That was awesome.
Congrats.
It was a great stalk. Spotted him from about 3 miles away, moved in. There's another smaller buck that we saw on the way, and then wrapped around the hill, and he was with a bunch of does at this little spring, and it worked out. So, very cool. Awesome hunt. Had a lot of fun. Now it's time to cut him up and pack him home. I think I'm going to do a little bit of summer sausage and then a lot of jerky. We're out of jerky, so this will be the deer that we take on all the other hunts next year. Down the mountain we go.